Look at that. I mean, she's just being empowering though. So why we knocking that down?
You don't empower by diminishing another.
That's what I was about to say.
We not done yet, guys. Hold on.
Oh my God.
Welcome to Fold, everyone. Today we're gonna talk about men's talking spaces. All right. So this didn't take long to find. I'm gonna be honest. I was on TikTok for a little bit, and I was able to find a couple of female-led podcasts or female-only podcasts, really, that made fun of men's talking spaces, or specifically men's podcasts.
Oh, excuse us, women only.
Sorry, women-only podcasts. Look, I say without discrimination. I say male or female, but I can see some people getting offended by that. So.
Oh no! I'm just saying because they got the right to offend us, but God forbid we make a mistake. So I'm trying to.
Well, before we get to that, let's see the videos first.
My bad.
Let's see what
I jumped the gun, y'all. I jumped the gun.
All right, let's see. We gonna start.
Let's target at the right enemies.
All right, so y'all can see down below some of the videos that I was able to find. Women making fun of males podcasts. So let's get it started.
I know something you don't, but you won't listen cause I have a vagina.
Waste of vocals.
But and this was I don't know if you guys can see the text, but this is just because she saw some guys just doing a podcast solely consisting of men. So she just had that assumption. It was just that they was doing that because they weren't willing to listen to what a woman has to say. So.
No.
But yeah, obviously that's not necessarily.
Yo, can we get a zoom in on all the hashtags?
Yeah,
because I'm reading some really suspect hashtags right there.
All right, you know what? Let me expand it since you wanna. Now we gotta go out engineering. You can see the hashtags. What do you see?
Women representation, feminist, TikTok, women podcast.
Yeah. Well, shoot. Look at that. I mean, she's just being empowering though. So why we knocking that down?
You don't empower by diminishing another.
That's what I was about to say.
We not done yet, guys. Hold on.
Oh my bad.
Yeah, can't be ignorant now.
All right, let's do the next
one.
You don't learn. So this one is more text heavy, really. So
yeah, I agree. Yeah, I can start a podcast with the bros because I think we're dumb hilarious.
Because everyone tells us we're hilarious.
Yeah, so if y'all can see the text, that's why. Because dudes think they funny. Dudes think they got ish that people want to hear. Why do you think you do?
I mean, that's life.
And this last one.
Everybody got something
cheat.
to say.
Their heart is in it, and that shit hurts. They don't even realize. It's all emotions. It's all tied together. But when a man cheats, listen to me, okay? Listen to this part. When a man cheats, it's just physical, right?
I'm gonna leave that there.
Yo, bro, I need you to do me a favor. As you're editing this video, right? Edit all our mustaches and facial hair to disappear and just give us all the Wendy's wigs. Yeah. Let's do that.
Look like some beautiful
Wendy Williams?
Nah, wrong Wendy, bro. Wrong
Wait,
Wendy.
why I gotta do that when there's so many filters doing that already? Like, what? Come on
so we could be sophisticated about it. You feel me?
Right. That makes it 10 times better. So, first, a couple of disclaimers, right? This is not a invitation to go out there and start hounding these people and commenting under their posts and saying negative things, right? Nope. They're expressing their opinions, as everybody has the right and freedom to do.
Yeah, okay? Ultimately it's just trying to understand a perspective, and I'm just like, what about us growing together? Because clearly that's not the way that it looks. It's like
that's a good point. Before we get there, though, I just want to say, the first two they were kind of just joking around. The third one was actually pretty serious.
Joking or not, bro.
Yeah, the message is sends. But as Jaquan was saying, we're here in this together. Everybody is trying to get equality. Everybody's trying to cut down the barriers that was built up over whatever past traumas, past issues we've had as a society. And this just further perpetuate those issues we have, I believe.
Here's the way I feel about it. You do not gain respect by throwing out disrespect. That defeats the whole point of what you're trying to do. Because I know for the longest time, there's been so many different social issues that women had with the way men go about things when it comes to them. Treatment, certain rights in certain situations, certain expectations. There's a whole lot going on in that category. There's so many different conversations come for that. But my main point is, you want that respect, but then you do things like this.
Like I said, you continue a cycle that doesn't allow us to grow together. That's the whole point. You start throwing other people under the bus, how are we supposed to expand the conversation?
Not even a bus. Like, you throwing people under a Mack truck at this point because they don't know no bounds and no ends when it comes to disrespect. But God forbid we say something slightly offensive to them.
I mean,
Oh yeah, nah, a guy couldn't do the same. But yeah, like you said, Jaquan, this is why men's talking spaces, I feel, were made. To be on equal playing field. So women are allowed to express their opinions. Men should be able to do the same.
Yeah, especially because throughout the couple decades in society, male expression, especially emotional expression, was a huge issue. I mean, that's why we had the whole like males being unable to express themselves emotionally, or the stiff old school dads that can't emotionally connect with any of their children and whatnot, and this and that, solely because they weren't taught that type of expression that apparently only females can do. But I'm like, no, all humans have emotions. It's just that we didn't take the time to have these conversations or this headspace to do so.
But not even that. So there is people that grew up. I'm specifically talking about men that grew up without dads. So these male talking places are the only place where they can go to get that guidance, to learn lessons on really how to be a man. So I think there's many positives other than just complaining about dating issues, because I feel like that's what everybody wants to jump to first. Everybody jumps to, the 1%. If I was the 1%, these women, they would just be after me for my money. There's actually more benefits to the male space in general than just giving, I would say, dating advice that doesn't really matter to like 90% of the population. Like, obviously people talk about that because that's what everybody's into. That's what everybody wants. But no, I think a male's talking space really is helpful to men. And again, allow men to just be vulnerable. Because really, who can men be vulnerable to?
Themselves.
Other men. Well, that's another big issue too. Men don't really confide in other people. Sorry, but if it would be anybody, it would be other men. So
because we really act like people all over the world don't already bully each other.
Yeah,
genders excluded. Now we narrowing it down.
But now look at us beefing. So I do want to say one thing, right? The first two did have a point. This is going back to joking. This is 200. Oh, yeah. When the numbers get too high,
I didn't know
can't
if you
count,
lose all your blacks.
Well, look, we in this. We going, all right? So, back to what I was saying. These spaces really, they do perpetuate this whole idea of, you got to be like this to get this girl, right? And I know this is why these girls out here complaining about that. Flush. These girls are saying, okay, all they talk about is, how men are able to do this in relationships, how, men are allowed to cheat, women aren't, And again, the same thing with the Drake, how men are like, okay, now I'm going to start walking with hot sauce. But you will never be in that situation because you don't have his clout, money, or fame. So
I mean, right. That was a pretty crazy case in terms of that, yes.
Yeah, so I see the jokes they're making. I see why they did it.
Yeah.
I definitely get it because a lot of podcasts like to talk about that and, stick on that issue because it's popular. Yeah.
One thing you have to consider, though, with celebrities and big names, that's going to come from everybody regardless. Gender, whatever you claim, when you up there with that status, that's going to see you regardless of where you stand, where you sit, or how you feel.
I mean, obviously, that situation wouldn't happen to a woman, though.
I mean, clearly.
Yeah, that Drake thing could only happen to a male in terms of how that went down.
And even then, you just saying that, there's someone somewhere who will find an argument with that statement. Yeah. But that's another convo on its own. I won't get into that. But that just goes to show you, anything and everything you say, anybody could argue with. Anybody could find a problem with. Anybody can make an issue out of.
Right. In terms of talking spaces, though, in general.
Especially being a man.
It's just we're having this ability to be able to emotionally express what we are and also allow, especially women, to also understand the male perspective a lot better because we're being more open in communication and understanding that we have emotions and are thus expressing them without belittling what it means to be a man or in that position of a man. Because ain't nothing wrong with expression emotions. Like, how the hell are we humans? That's how humans is.
As much as we don't want to admit it.
Yeah, humanity is about emotions, ultimately. We all have them. We share the same emotions. Society makes us convey them differently based on if you were born a man or a woman, or whatever gender you coincide with, however you operate. But ultimately, we have to express these emotions, which is why these the men-only podcasts are there to try to, really push that narrative out there in terms of trying to be open to communication and speech, so we can grow together as men and really get our voices out there and not feel like we are unable to talk, especially if it's a lot of those men who are raised by the old-headed mentality of not expressing yourselves, which is a huge issue. Because we have so much crazy situations that happen, especially for males' mental health. A lot of them have these mental health issues because they don't express how they feel. Thus, it just builds up within them, and then they're explosive and volatile, or can't even express the most basic emotions.
And can I piggyback off your statement for a second?
Yeah.
And then to put in another perspective, right? To all these women who feel like this and doing that, right? It'll be a whole different story if this is happening to their brother or this is happening to their son, right? Or their children who happen to be a male or a man, right? Because then now it's, oh my gosh, like, my son feel this way, I'm so hurt, I can only feel, but now you can only understand that pain and see what you're causing or what other people are causing them when it's happening to someone you care about. But any other time you're just generalizing and doing what you're doing, not realizing that this is what's happening all over to so many different people. So it's like a double standard. You care when it's affected someone close to you or dear to you in a certain category, but all of a sudden when it's anything outside that realm, now it's okay, right?
Yeah, that can easily come about.
Yeah. And again, I have no problem with a joke. I have no problem with you pointing out hypocrisy. Because that's what even in Dave Chappelle video, I said that's the point of comedy, right? Point out hypocrisies and irony and stuff.
Yeah.
So definitely, call out men if they're falling short. Cool.
Yeah.
But not because they're men. Call out something because it's a mistake or because it's wrong.
Like if they start devaluing women when that originally wasn't their direction. That's how Fresh and Fit started getting clout.
That's the best example, right?
Because they started to be hypocritical to their brand.
Call them out, sure. But, if it was done to you, that backlash would be immense, I could imagine. That's why I wouldn't even us, I know we're not nothing. If we say something bad now, nobody's even going to notice. But I wouldn't even want to do that risk. Somebody
because we're
takes
trying
it
to
the
show
wrong
respect
way.
to people.
Yeah.
I was like, we can comedically laugh at people blundering. Like,
I wouldn't even make that joke.
Where clearly they don't, it's either it's taken as a joke or they really don't see the value or perspective of others. Like, especially why there's male-dominated podcasts and whatnot. So,
really quick, I know this has been said before, but, we just comparing the voices men have compared to, women out there, just looking at TV, we got the real, we got ways for women to express themselves.
Oh, yeah, for years, yeah.
And it's been like that, like you said, established for years. And, again, that's another reason why men's talking space is so important, because men don't really have those outlets.
Yeah.
Because men really don't just talk. Like, we get these podcasts, we come together with bros, we think we're funny, we think people want to hear us. That could be ego, fine, whatever. I'm going to let you guys have that. But it's absolutely necessary, because we're literally not doing it anywhere else. And why is it ego if men do it? But
it's not
when there's so much platforms of women doing it, it's not ego, it's necessary.
And some of
it's
these shows,
educational.
Yeah, and then that's the thing. That's essentially what we were trying to do here, to educate on our perspective.
Yeah, hypocrisy is very educational.
Or feeling a superiority complex because, your voice is reaching a bunch of people. Thus, you feel like you're better than other people because you're not able. You know how strong your voice's reach is.
And what is that? An ego, right?
Clearly, ego. It must be a balance.
All right, so I guess we could just, I'll just give our quick opinion on that real question of the night. Do you think men's talking space is important? I know I've said, you guys heard my point, right?
Yeah.
What do you specifically think about men's talking spaces? Do you think it's oversaturated with just too much bogus dating advice?
Nah.
Leave a comment below on how you feel.
Yeah, but I want to hear your guys' comment.
Like I said, no, I agree that the talking spaces are necessary. Just like I said before in terms of emotional expression and whatnot. And then, you could tell if it's becoming more, that podcast specifically or whatever is going in that type of direction where it's not really aiding in terms of message and whatnot. You could see it. Like I said, how Fresh and Fit got exposed. So, ultimately, I do feel it is a necessity because it really does help in terms of guidance. And emotional expression. Yeah, so I do feel it. I don't feel we're oversaturating that nature. I think it's honestly like what we've always wanted, but now we're getting it through how the media climate is today.
What are we getting from it?
We're getting people who actually do podcasts to voice the male issues, and then women are actually seeing a lot of these issues that males are suffering that they never saw before, that they didn't see.
Yeah, but how many actually care?
I mean, like I said, because it's happening, more people see it. So the ones who truly want to learn, they change. I got a pair of 9s.
Jaquan wins. Pair of 9s.
Yep.
Almost a flush. No, you got a flush. What?
No.
Five
Just have
clubs.
one.
There's
Nope.
not 5 clubs.
Yeah.
There is 1, 2,
two.
3, 4, 5.
No, this
No,
is a
this
spade.
is a spade.
Am I blind?
Yes.
One.
What?
It's
Oh
a
my
spade.
spade.
God.
That was a spade, bro.
It's a spade.
Yep, that's going on TikTok.
Yeah, don't edit that out.
Am I
Nah, we
blind?
make fun of everybody equally out here. All right.
Is that am I blind?
All right, y'all. So you guys hear how we feel about that. You know, I don't think this is something that should be made fun of. I think it's gonna be one of those things that gets downplayed. You know, just another group of men just making a podcast.
I mean,
Even
in fact-
today, actually, we tried to have a woman on this podcast because I think it would be nice to get that opinion on it. But you know, obviously, stuff happens. It can't always be like that.
Here's a disclaimer. She didn't miss out on a podcast because she didn't want to be a part of a men's podcast. It was different reasons, but, you know, things just came up, couldn't make it.
Right.
Disclaimer.
Thank you for clarifying.
Disclaimer.
Yeah, life happens. You know, sometimes it just ends up all being a male cast.
Yep.
Life.
Not deliberate.
Yeah, but I would hope we have some, you know, valid advice to give, and you're not gonna dismiss us because we're men. Something like that. All right. We're not gonna keep belaboring the point. So you guys get it. Let us know what you think.
And again, leave a comment.
Yeah, leave a comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you. Night.